facilities when the two parking areas owned or leased and operated by the BCLPRD are full with 34 vehicles and/or vehicle trailer units. So to get any discussion going, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Now discussion.
Well, have we discussed in the past, for me personally, it's really about the parking and the chaos that has caused so far. And the safety on the lake on the weekends, it's getting out of control.
So I can ask you, was it any more out of control than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
Chris, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is because we spend a lot of time on the water on the weekends, and it's dangerous. It's more dangerous. There's boats that don't know the boating rules. They don't abide by the rules, and they're not the same boats every week. So that's the big issue for me.
Because I'm out in the mornings.
Yeah.
I don't go out in the afternoons. I haven't for 30 years because the lake's always been nuts.
Yeah.
And is it really worse now than it was throughout all the years? The mornings aren't bad. I'm still out in the mornings.
I've only been here 22 years, and it is.
Please, no comments from the board.
I've only been here going on 22 years, and for me, the afternoons are just crazy. And it's significantly different than it was 4 or 5 years ago. It's just my opinion.
Okay.
I think the residents have more boats, which add to the total number of boats that are on here. So I think that it's worse than it was 30 years ago.
All right.
One of the things the way this ordinance was drafted was that it wouldn't take effect until August 1st. It gives us 3 weeks or so to try to work out some of the logistics. And it basically, it ends on Labor Day coming up. So it's in effect for about 31, 32 days.
Yeah, but the ordinance is on the books now.
It would be, yes. It doesn't mean we can't make some changes in it. So we'll see how the experiment goes.
And the other issue I have is some of the unworkables, like you have 3 ramps. How is somebody gonna be launching over there, know that the lot's full over here?
Well, we'll have to work out an arrangement for that.
Well,
We do
these
have,
are the details.
we do have radios. And we have to figure out a way to maybe have a lineup of 3 or 4 boats or trailers and vehicles. And these are areas of the logistics that are going to be worked out in the next 3 weeks, and then we'll give it a trial.
So are we gonna have any plans of quantifying any of this? How do we know it works? Because I'll lay odds on it's still gonna be extremely busy on the weekends, especially if it's a nice day.
That's very possible.
So how do we quantify it? How do we know it's working? That's my question.
Well, we do have some idea of the number of launches. And
Yeah, I
we'll
mean,
continue
that
to
took me
take.
by surprise. 87 in and 32 out, and I got plus 50 boats on the lake that aren't parking. So I can see that stopping.
Uh-huh.
Can I just add a little, not that my input matters, because I'm not able to vote anyways, but obviously, I'm here and my officers are here all the time on the week and weekends, and I see all the reports that come in. My whole opinion on this is I see both sides. There are a lot of, I looked at the 87 boats that came in that weekend and the 30-something out. And, that was trying to figure out where these people are parking. It was one thing, right? So if we shut down all the parking, there's not going to be an available parking for them. So really the only thing that could happen is if someone lives on the lake, they come and launch their boat, or they know somebody that lives on the lake and they park their trailer at their house. My opinion to that aspect of the launch is that I think that, you know, it might not be immediate, but I think this parking that we've been put on the roads will slow that down. I think it'll dramatically decrease the amount of traffic coming in on the weekends. I also agree with you, how are you gonna have statistical data to show that shutting a launch down decreases the 30 or 40 extra boats that are on the water? I also agree that, as we have talked in past at other meetings, there are too many boats at a lot of the homes that are currently on the lake, you know, which we know, and we are looking into that. We had talked about that a couple months ago. My opinion on this whole matter, I guess, would be, instead of shutting the launch down, can we look at other options as to, maybe we put a guy out there and we monitor the traffic, but we're not shutting it down. We're making sure they're paying their launch passes. We're seeing where they're parking. If the spots aren't full, where are these people parking? Because I don't know where they're gonna park if there's no spots available and all the roads have no parking on them. And doing kind of a monitoring thing for the next month and see, somehow come up with a way that we can monitor the activity on the lake. I don't know how that would be, but obviously we need to see results either way. We have to know that what we are doing is either working or it's not working. I mean, correct?
Yeah.
Because if we shut down the launch for a month, how are we gonna know that that worked? If we don't shut down the launch for a month and we enforce parking and we monitor the traffic that's coming in and out, how are we gonna know that's working? So I think that there's gotta be a plan in place that,
There's no empirical way, right?
right, but there's gotta be, is what I'm saying is, I don't want us to make a decision, or I don't want the board to make a decision, or somebody else make a decision on something that we don't necessarily know if it's gonna work or not. And there is a problem
How did
with
you
having the
get-
3 launches on the lake.
Yes, how did you get the number of launches?
I had one of our employees on the weed crew sat here, and he sat in right outside the office here by the window and counted each boat that came in, each boat that left.
All right, don't we have
I mean, we could go to the point where we stand out there and actually collect the launch fees.
do we have a camera?
Well, yes, we do. The hard drive was down for a week, but I'm getting it back up and running tomorrow.
Would that be able to let us know how many launches? And
Well, I mean, you could watch it, but obviously the camera, you know, is focused in this area here. So, I mean, for you to sit and watch video all day, we're better off just having one of the kids come here for 10 or 11 bucks an hour and have them count vehicles on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm just, like I said, I don't have a vote on this. I'm giving you my opinion. I've been here since 2002. You guys have been on the lake a lot longer than me, but my opinion is, I don't know if this is a solution. And I honestly think that what we have done now, presently, was shutting down the roads, having active enforcement out there, myself, now we have all the lake PRD officers enforcing no parking, that I really think that is gonna solve the problem here at the launch. The problem that we have in the lake, I don't know how we're gonna solve that, because we don't have the authority to regulate that. We want to regulate it, we've discussed it, we wanna regulate the piers. We want to regulate the boats. The DNR does not regulate it. We know that they won't do it. We're looking into the town to get an authority of doing that. If we get the authority to do that, great. Then officers can start regulating that. But I want everybody here, the property owners, the district, the general public, I think we should all try to figure something out that works instead of creating something that isn't going to work or we don't know if it's going to work. If that makes sense, my opinion.
What about the father only goes out on Sunday because all the grandkids show up?
It's a problem both ways, Jim. It's a problem that you're gonna have lake owners that need to get their boat out, need to get in. You're gonna have people that are out on the water that need to get off. If we're not over there, we're not over there. We're gonna have to staff 3 launches. And it's just gonna be a huge issue. I think if we enforce what we have in place, maybe put one of these kids out there, it'll be a lot cheaper than staffing an officer out there for 27 bucks an hour to collect the launch passes, and find out where these people are parking. how many launches do we got coming? Let's see in the next 2 or 3 weeks if this knocks the traffic down.
Maybe.
I mean, we have the time. I just think that we should try some other things before we get too drastic.
I like that a lot, the trying.
And I honestly think that what we're doing now is gonna work. I do.
Yeah, I mean, we just got most of the signs up, right?
Right.
Parking signs.
And we just, last night approved at the town for Cedar Lake Drive. There were 7, 8 vehicles parking up there. They're not gonna park there anymore. There's not gonna be any parking. The only parking is Highway K, and we need to work with the county to come up with something on that. And, you know, they have addressed that it needs to be a safety concern. I contacted the sheriff's department on that 4th of July and said, I think you should send an officer out here and check the parking. I don't have the authority to do it. But there were cars sticking out in the lanes. They weren't even all the way off the shoulder. You know, I think we need to work at that, obviously, and be able to go to that meeting and address that situation with the county boards. That's my stance.
This is not a time that we have public comments. Oh, what's your pleasure?
Got somebody back in the corner.
Yeah, we're not gonna take comments from the
Oh,
floor.
you're not?
No,
We had a public hearing.
yeah, we had a public hearing.
Okay,
so
I got you.
we're not in the-
Too old.
Did, you know, some of the comments that came up about legal issues, who drafted this?
I did.
Still in the bar?
Oh, yeah.
Have you passed the DNR or anybody,
Oh,
other than,
this basically is patterned after Shaniqua's.
yeah, I know, but that's not the question.
They've had theirs in existence for a long time.
Okay.
Because we've had ordinances that didn't hold up all in the past.
There's no requirement that we get DNR approval.
No, I'm not,
Approval.
that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking is if it's been passed by somebody. All right.
Other than the person who has written many
Yeah, I
ordinances
know.
for this district. Well, I'm here. What is your pleasure?
I like the idea that you could look it over after a month or two and then adjust it as the need. You know, where this doesn't work, why, or you decided to put little magnets on to show that you're an annual person or you live here or whatever, so that they can see it just at a glance that you're part of the lake, you're not, you know, I don't know what I'm saying, but it gives us a chance to look at it or kill it, you know. I talk, what you had to say was good. You do it, you have to live with it more so than any of us.
I mean, I'm just trying to make both parties happier. I'm trying to come up with ideas for us to do it in a way that everybody's gonna be happy. And I don't,
And if it doesn't work, we can not do it or change it. How would that be, Roger? Will we check it out, and then if something's not working, we can adjust this thing?
You can always do that. You can amend the ordinances.
It's harder to do, to amend.
Well, since no one is changing the motion, the motion out for us to vote on is to approve ordinance number 2018-1. So, let's vote.
Can we do it right? Can we do it a hand thing?
Well, we can do and I think it probably would be good to do a voice vote.
Okay,
Did you say?
So call the roll.
we're gonna have a roll call.
All right, Mike Burns,
You know, I'm not opposed to this ordinance, but I just don't know that we're ready for it yet. I have to vote no.
I'm of the same feeling, no.
Okay?
I'm nervous about it, you know. I can't try to walk both sides of the fence, I know that's not fair, but I would go for it if we can adjust it, and we know that we can adjust it if it doesn't work right. You know, that we don't create a monster. I like, whatever.
I made the motion, so clearly, if we have to work out some details, we'll have to take another run at passing the right ordinance that makes more sense.
So what's your vote on this one?
I guess I'll say no.
Okay. Well, it's 3-1. Did not pass. Next item. Number.
Is this my screw?
You're fine.
No, you voted yes. But there were 3 votes no.
Okay.
No, he didn't vote yes. He didn't vote yes.
What did he vote?
He voted no.
I don't think he ever said yes or no.
Yeah.
He voted no.
I think,
Did you say
Jim,
yes or no, Jim?
I said,
it really doesn't make much difference, because whatever you say.
yeah, so then I'll say no.
So why don't you
I'd
clarify?
like to know
Yes or
more
no?
about, to work on it. I think what he had in mind, if something bothers me, here, you lean over here and you say, this is our officer, and he's got an opinion and it's based on being out there all of the time, and I like that, but it's, if I say it, we can't change it a little bit because part of it's not working out.
Right, are you have a yes or a no
No.
motion?
I thought you said no.
And
Yeah,
the,
I was, no, I was a yes, I believe, yeah.
you're voting to approve the
Yeah.
ordinance.
Yeah, I like it, as long as we can look at it later and adjust it. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, that's how I feel.
Now,
I got you.
Can I
But
change
it's-
my vote? Well, because I thought it was already 3 against it, and you and I can't carry 3-2. I made the motion, okay?
Okay, so we have a yes from Jim.
Okay,
We have a no from
as long as we
Chris
can
and
change.
no from Mike.
I'm a yes.
You're a yes. So it's up to me.
It is.
I'll go yes, then, but if we find out it doesn't work, sure as hell we wanna look at it.
I think Jim just is saying that he's saying yes, but he wants to be able to, ability to work with it, and, you know, if something's not working, to adjust.
Yeah,
All right, I'll vote yes.
yes.
The motion carries.
Am I fired now or what?
Yes. We'll cut your pay.
I had 1 cup of coffee.
All right. Number 10, set dates for the 2018 annual meeting and early August 2018 meeting of the commission.